Good morning. I'm Ladianne, in case you're just joining for the first time. And normally I would have Sarah Carney with me, who is my co-host. Hey, Sandy, good morning. Sarah's not around today, and I contemplated how I wanted to do the show for today. And initially I thought, well, hey, Joe, how are you? Initially, I thought, and Ed, good morning. Oh my gosh, the gang is all showing up. So initially, I thought, wow, I'm going to sit and knit with you guys. And I found so much material to share with you, and I've seen some really amazing things this week. And on top of it, I'm in a section of that wrap. If you saw the picture online, I'll show you in just a second, where I really can't chat, run a show, and knit at the same time. So I'm going to leave you guys to the knitting for the moment, and I'm going to share, oh, Mom, Debbie, good morning. So I'm going to share a bunch of stuff with you, and some of it is resource information, some of it is there are things from websites that I've found, programs that I've watched, things that I've read. So a lot of really great stuff. Good morning, Jennifer. So for the On the Needles, and feel free, because your comments, I can actually add them to the show. So let's go around, and I'm going to share where I am on the wrap that's been going on for forever. But if you want to comment with a project that you're working on, if you're crazy about it, I'd love to share it with everybody. So, I don't know, tell us what you're working on. Here's where I am on the wrap, and I'm going to tell you a very brief story about what's going to happen to this. There's the beginning. You've seen it 100 times. Got through the center stripey section. There's that, and now I'm moving on to texture again with this gold piece. So that gold texture piece and then a finishing band, that's going to be it. I promise I won't share this with you every single week for the next 6 weeks. It is almost done. It's just a really, really, really big piece. So yeah, if you want to comment with something that you're working on, I'm happy to share it with everybody. So I was fortunate enough to stumble upon a series this week. If you remember last week, I shared with you a lot of stuff when Sarah and I were talking about Black makers of all stripes. So architects and historical musicians, folks. The musicians that Sarah shared are no longer alive now, but I shared a few makers from that were in this episode of American Craft magazine, and I got lucky enough this week to hey, good morning. That's good. Sarah and her mom are watching. Good morning. I was just talking about you, Sarah. So I was telling them that last week when we were talking about makers, I shared a bunch of makers from American Craft magazine, and I was fortunate enough to stumble upon a series that they have going. It's a live stream series. I watched one of them yesterday afternoon. It was the second in a series of 3. Oh, let's see. I'm going to share this. So Sandy bound off Mezzaluna and put up a comment about what that is exactly, Sandy, so I can tell folks or remind them of what it is. So you might even be able to put a picture in the comments. I'm not sure, but you can try. So the series that I came across, 3 in the series from the American Craft Council. Let me pull up. Let me see if I can do this. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen with you. This is the episode in the series that's actually coming up. The one I watched, this is the one I watched yesterday. The third one is also really interesting, but this one was called Recentering Craft in Our Social Lives. And if you go to the American Craft Council website, I'm actually showing you a live view of the website, and scroll all the way down, there are 3 featured short films, and they were all 3 great, but of particular interest to me were the first one, which I wish they told you a little more in this description about the kinds of things these folks work on. But Zahit Mungan, this piece was incredible. And actually, Sarah, I think you might really enjoy this. This one here is about kite making. And what they did with these short films in this talk is they shared the short film, which features a maker somewhere in the world. In this case, the first maker in this series is in Turkey. The other 2 who were highlighted and actually the Women of Color Quilters Network was it's a group of people, so several folks are featured. But they're in the United States, and the third person was in the United States as well. But take a look at these. The Women of Color Quilters Network was also incredibly interesting, really cool. I did not know about, with regard to the first film, the history of kites. It was really good. So if you want something to watch while you are at home or anywhere, take a look at that. The American Craft Council is amazing. And I subscribe to the magazine. I'm a member, and they've just got great, great resources. And I'll tell you in a minute about something that might be my newest obsession that came about as a result of the American Craft Council. So I'm going to add Sandy's comment here. So Mezzaluna is a new shawl design. She's going to be publishing soon. Yep, Knit and Hand-Dyed Diva Sport. It is so pretty, you guys. And this will be our first pattern done out of Hand-Dyed Diva Sport. I'm going to digress for a moment since Sandy mentioned Hand-Dyed Diva. This week, we were in the dye studio. We have 4 new colorways, and I want to share those with you just in case you didn't see them. These were so much fun to do. We didn't have really, we had the hot pink, but we didn't have any other really, really bright colors other than that. So this is, oh wow, it's going to get blown out on the camera, but this is called Tilt-A-Whirl. You can't tell, I don't think, from that, but maybe right there you can. There's a lot going on. It's fun. I actually shared these, and I had a really fun customer from New York, Donna, reach out, and we put together a series of these for, it's the Stephen West pattern. I think it's called Speckle and Pop. I'm pretty sure it's like it's a wrap, but it has sleeves and a really big shawl collar and a chevron pattern. Super fun. So, oh, wow. Yeah, these are so bright that the camera's having a hard time, but yeah, there's that one. So this is 80s bikini. Yes, I did see a lot of bikinis that color in the 80s. This one is called Parade. So this one's really fun. It's got the purple going on there. And wound up, this is killer. Donna from New York bought all 3 of those, plus Safety Dance, which is our really bright orange, and Feather Boa, which is hot pink. She's doing that piece in all of those colors, which is going to be really fun. And then the 4th one is this, which is really a fall color. It's called Harvest, but also a speckle. So, hey. Oh, you're halfway through Breathe and Hope. Let me put that up. So Jennifer's working on Breathe and Hope, which is a Casapinka shawl, and she is using Cocktail and Limelighter, which are also Hand-Dyed Diva colors. Hey, Karen, good morning. The whole dyeing of yarn thing, really fun. It's super fun. So back to the American Craft Council and some of the things that I found there. I came across, and let me see if I can find on this list, I came across doesn't look like I actually put it on there, but I came across a website called Hyperallergic. And I am going to share, because I can show you a picture of Hrog, who, so this the gentleman listed there, Rog, let me see if I can actually zoom this in a little bit for you. I think I can. He is the editor-in-chief and co-founder of Hyperallergic. He's an art critic, curator, and so on. It's listed there. But if you go to Hyperallergic, it has some really neat content. If you are an avid craft culture person, fanatic, then take a look at Rog's site because it's killer. So he is to blame for what I am calling my new kind of obsession. And Sandy, you're gonna want to look at this. There is a fairly recent, let me see if I can get this over here. There's a fairly recent addition to the world of streaming services, and it's called OVID. And it is a live streaming service comprised entirely of indie films and documentaries. You guys, I'm a total nerd, so this service, this might have to be a gift to myself because wow. And I know Sherry is not watching right now, so I'll tell you right now, she would cringe if she were. So that will be something, well, she might not entirely cringe. There are some of those that she would love, but I'm a documentary junkie. Yeah, Bosch definitely would give you nightmares, Sandy, but that's just one of a billion, actually to be exact, I think nearly 900 films that are on the service right now. So, yeah, Bosch is just one of them. That's just what the screenshot settled on. Don't let that deter you. But the OVID service looks absolutely incredible. I did type in the word knit or knitting, one of those, and things came up, but I'm fairly certain with most of them that it might have been that in the description it said this person was knitting together these different food things or whatever. So I don't think most of them were literally knitting, but so I found that. And then also, and I haven't explored this enough yet, when I was looking at the Craft Council website, I scrolled all the way down to the bottom when I was looking at some event information and found this list of supporters. And actually, I'm seeing the Furniture Society, and I bet you, Sarah, that might be really interesting to you, and also probably the Center for Art and Wood. Oh, and there's Tyler Art and Architecture. Anyway, these all looked really interesting to me, so very nice rabbit hole to go down if you guys are interested in that. So I don't know how nerdy you are. If you're super nerdy, those are things to take a look at. One thing that I found for my dad, I know Mom is watching. I don't know if Dad is watching. Oh, and I have to give a shout out to my mom. I am wearing a tank top that my mom made, and it has, it's really pretty. It's super simple. It just has a little bit of something going on at the edge of the sleeves and the neck, and then just kind of a wide rib that's not vertical. It's a horizontal rib at the bottom. So that, and my mom made my scarf. So it's wear things your mom made to work day. So I'll tell you that. But since Mom is watching, she'll have to tell Dad about this. I found an exhibit. Oh my gosh. And where was this? Was actually at the Mint Museum quite a while ago, 9 years ago. But I stumbled upon this. And on this page, if you scroll down, you find this. And I thought Dad would really enjoy this. My dad is a guitar not just a guitar player who's really good, but also a guitar enthusiast. And he, not too long ago, bought, I can't remember if it was a mandolin or a guitar, and I might even be wrong on those two, from a maker, an indie maker. So he loves those kinds of things. So I thought I would share that. Other things I came across, and then I'm going to tell you about some patterns I found that I think would be fun for you to work on, including some Sandy Rosners. Yeah, shout out to my mom. I have to add that. It's shout out to Mom Day. So everybody, yay for Mom. So other things that I found. The Smithsonian, Joe, I love the vest too. My mom is a sweetheart. The Smithsonian has a program, a place called the Center for Folklife and Cultural Heritage. And there is a lot going on that page, a lot. So I wanted to share the page with you, and this is listed in the show notes. And I also wanted to share this. There are lots of live streaming. Mom said, I said, Mom's a sweetheart. And she said, yeah, for you. Okay, we all know what it means to be knitworthy or not knitworthy. If you don't know what that means and you're watching the show, any one of us would be happy to help you with that, to understand that terminology. So at the Smithsonian Center for, yes, just one second, Joe, I'll share that with you. At the Smithsonian Center, they have a whole bunch of things that are coming up. They were supposed to have a festival on the National Mall. Rather than have that live, wise choice, they are doing all of these streaming programs, and they look really interesting to me. So one of them, for example, corn, beans, and squash, what the Three Sisters tell us. If you don't know what the Three Sisters are, they are very often, those things are very often planted together, and they also have a lot of Southern culture wrapped around them. So that looks really interesting. Brazilian food they have, so it just looks really neat. If you're looking for something to watch while you're at home, that's a good one. All right, since Joe Salisbury asked, let me see if I can get to where you can see this. Yeah, I'm super fashionable today, by the way, because I did put a t-shirt under this. Can you see let me see if you can see it, this ribbing here? And Mom, I don't know if you even still know what the pattern is. If you do, share it, and I will put it up for everybody to see. And the scarf as well. I don't know. She did these a little while ago, right, Mom? I'm not sure exactly when, but maybe she can share those with us. Another thing I came up with, and then I want to share a call for entries for patterns. People do watch this show on YouTube afterwards, so if you are a designer or a budding designer, I have something to share with you in case you haven't seen it. This is not that thing yet. I did also come across a magazine called Scalawag, and on it, interestingly, I found right at the beginning the tradition of African American quilting, which tied precisely in with part of the talk that I watched yesterday. All right, so we're going to move on to some patterns. Thank you, Joe. I love the look too. It's really pretty, and I think Mom must have done this. I'm going to guess this might actually be modern cotton. I'm not sure. It looks like a cotton blend. It feels like modern cotton, but I'm not sure that's what it is. Let's see. There is a call for entries coming up. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. The call for entries is from Pom Pom. If you aren't familiar with Pom Pom Quarterly, it is, I suppose, technically it's a serial publication, but it is done on such incredibly nice paper with beautiful photography, and it's just very, very well put together. They have a call for submissions for spring, and it specifically is focused on patterns that bring in ideas of quilting, which I thought was really cool. So a side note about quilting, a lot of our customers are quilters. I'm sure a lot of you all sew and quilt. From a family perspective, my mom grew up in Paducah, Kentucky, which is where the National Quilt Museum is. And when I was looking at quilting things this morning, you can tell the rabbit hole was a lot of fun this morning. When I was looking at quilting things this morning, I came across, let me get to this so I can show you. I came across something I had no idea was out there. I don't know how long it's been there. It's the Virginia Quilt Museum, which is located in Harrisonburg, Virginia. I spent my entire undergraduate life in Harrisonburg, Virginia. So I don't know. I was not into quilts at that point, at the age of 17 to whatever. Uh, I don't know if it was there then. I'm going to have to do some digging. But I was looking through their things and thinking how fascinating that was in relation to the pom-pom thing. And I also found, let me see if that's not it. Let me find it. I also found an artist, and I don't remember if this was on their site or not. I apologize for that. But this artist, Harriet Corman, when I saw her artwork, it totally took me to quilting. And I thought, wow, that could be so amazing to go to for inspiration if you want to enter the Pom Pom magazine thing. So I know not all of you are designers. I know you're not all quilters. I'm not a quilter, but I definitely admire it. And interestingly, the shawl that I showed you earlier, I have to tell you how this all ties together. Sandy came into the shop the other day, and I told her that I want to use that wrap. I'll just show you again in case you weren't here right at the beginning. I want to use this wrap that I'm working on to raise money for a specifically, oh, awesome, Karen's a quilter. Shout out to We're So Creative in Concord. We love that shop. I have not gotten to go there yet, but I love them because we share customers and we refer people back and forth. So please give them a look. They're wonderful, and I've actually emailed with the owner several times, and she's great. So with this wrap, I want to raise funds for, I thought I wanted to raise funds for a specifically Black-focused organization. And I didn't want to leap on the first and very obvious thing. So I decided to sit with it and wait. And I was telling Sandy this when she came in to visit the other day. Lo and behold, the next morning, I went into my, I guess my email or my files or something. You know how this happens. Went in, and suddenly to the top of whatever I was looking at the time, drifted something from the Furious Flower Poetry Center, which is at my undergrad alma mater, James Madison University. And I looked at that, and it was like I was struck by lightning. I thought, that's it. That's what I want this wrap to benefit. So once this wrap is published from that point, which I hope to be very soon, I'm almost done. Once that is published, all of the net profits from that pattern purchased on Ravelry will go to the Furious Flower Poetry Center. And I'm tied to the center. I won't tell you the whole story. It's on Instagram if you want to take a look. But I'm tied to the center in several ways. The strongest of which is the fact that the woman who founded the center, who still is working there, is, thanks, Joe. Oh, wow. Yeah, there are a lot of rabbit holes in my life. The woman who founded the Furious Flower Poetry Center, her name is Dr. Joanne Gabin. She is a marvelous, marvelous human being, a marvelous human being. When I was in undergrad at James Madison, I did an honors thesis, and several of the students were asked to go to Minnesota to present our findings, our papers. And I was terrified and I thought, oh my gosh, I had committed to go, and then I got cold feet. And Dr. Gabin convinced me that I would be going. And of course I said, yes, ma'am. And I went, and it was great. But Dr. Gabin several years later started the Furious Flower Poetry Center I'm an interdisciplinary artist, so poetry is a piece of my practice. And when I was asked to support the center, I said absolutely yes. So the rest of the story is on Instagram or Facebook. You can look at it there. But this is the perfect thing to, in my opinion, for this wrap to support, because I feel as though whether it is poetry or art or even knitting patterns, quilts, creative work has such potential to comment on the times and to hold those observations, feelings, opinions in a very particular way for future folks to reflect on and to interact with. Thank you, Ed. I have to tell you this. It's when things hit me, they hit me, and that one got me. I won't tell you the whole story. You'll have to read it. There's more, but you can read it. So that is that. Now I want to launch into patterns. So since I wore this tank today, I've never actually written, is that true? I've never written anything that is specifically for spring and summer. I haven't yet. I may need to do that. There's something about a long sleeve sweater in particular that just, my heart belongs to long sleeve sweaters. I don't know what to tell you. I have written some short sleeve sweaters, but wanted to share some tanks and tees that I've come across because I love them. I don't know. I haven't knit many of them, and I don't write them. So I started looking for them on Ravelry, and I found several. The first one is called the Poison Oak Tank. And Sarah, I'm so glad you're watching. You probably have seen this. I don't know, maybe. You guys are going to know this is a Sarah thing. I just found this really, really interesting. I don't know if it's going to let me zoom this in a little bit more. Let me see if I can. There we go. I think maybe you can see it better now. This is just a really, really interesting tank. It's, I don't know, it's like stack stitches. Patience, Jennifer, patience. Jennifer just shared, we will get there. Yes, it is in my list. So we'll talk about Sandy's book in just a minute. That's my big finish, Jennifer. That's the punchline. Yeah, so this tank is really beautiful, but what I found really interesting about this is this. If you look down the pictures, you see it as a tank, and then you see it as, wait for it, a coat. I didn't look closely enough to find out if it's listed as a coat in the pattern or if that knitter did that on her own. I'm not sure, but it's very interesting. I have to tell you that the intricacy of the construction is not necessarily something I would be drawn to. I really am a simpler construction and color work kind of gal. That's just where I am right now. I also found, is this going to let me show it? I'm not sure why it's not showing up. I found the Tegna by Caitlin Hunter, and it's for some reason not coming to the front. Let me see if I can get it to come up here. There might be something else that's already at the top that's not letting me do it. If it doesn't, I can go to, let me find it for you guys on Ravelry because I want you to see this. Okay, one second. All right, so here is the Tegna. And it's really pretty. Interestingly, people have done it in all kinds of color combinations and then solids. So no matter your style, this is a good one. I've actually had several people come in and tell me they were working on this. So that's cool. And then I don't know if I can get, let me see if I can get this one to come up. Let me see. Go back in here and see if I can find this. All right, so this one is the Nazarene by Lana Joy. This was in a pom-pom quarterly, and this one I did find very interesting for the construction. If you look at the stripes on there, it looks to me, Sandy, like this was, knit 2 together on the left side as you go along, and then pick up all the stitches, go diagonally, and then perhaps pick up around the top front and the top back, and it's probably seamed at the shoulder, I would imagine. Not positive, but it's possible. Okay, Jennifer and Sandy, this one's for you. I actually showed, no, don't be sorry. You're cued into your sister. How could you not be? And good for you for being, good for you for being a supportive sister. So here is a screenshot of Sandy's, this is not all of them, Sandy's tanks. This is from a book called 21 Crocheted Tanks and Tunics by Sandy Rosner. And I have to tell you, Sandy, in these tanks and tunics, there is something for just about everyone. And I love that. In fact, I'm gonna actually go to the tanks and tunics on Ravelry so you guys can see all of them. Let's see, 21 tanks and, oh, there it is. 21 crocheted tanks and tunics. Stylish designs for every occasion. Let me pull this up so you guys can look at it. There we go. Sandy seriously has so many good designs in this. Here they are. I'm going to scroll through. We actually had Folsom, I believe, in the shop. Yep, something for everyone. I will tell you, I am not going to show you this now. If you type in tanks on Ravelry, you do find some pretty revealing, I don't know, some pretty racy things, which they're really fun if that's your style. I couldn't pull it off. Not going to happen, ever. Not going to happen. So I don't know. You'll have to look at that for yourself. I only have a couple more things to share with you. And I do want to remind you that the Worldwide Knit and Public Day event we were going to hold in the parking lot, I'm the kind of person who errs on the side of caution when it comes to life and limb. So we decided to cancel today's event. If we can have one when it seems safer, then we will do it. The reason we canceled today is that in North Carolina, I know a lot of you watching from out of town and people who pick this up later on YouTube, our numbers for COVID in North Carolina have skyrocketed and the deaths have skyrocketed. So in the interest of public safety, we decided to forego the event for today. I'm really sad about that. Two things, however, I want to put out there, and I'm going to post about this too. The shop is still open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 to 5. I'm keeping the shop open. Sherry and I are keeping the shop open. We've talked about this. We're keeping it open Wednesday through Saturday, and our online store is obviously open. But we're keeping the brick and mortar shop open because, thank you to everybody who's come in. Our customers are amazing. Everybody has come in wearing a mask. 99% of people have used the hand sanitizer that we have available to you. If folks have shown up without a mask, I have very politely pointed out the fact that we have free masks available for those who have forgotten theirs, and they have put them on immediately. Shout out to our customers. Thank you for your consideration, and thank you for just thank you. Thank you to you. Thank you for being supportive, and thank you for being considerate and showing concern for others. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. There's that. The other thing I wanted to share with you is I have a question, and I don't think I have it set up to do a poll, but please feel free to answer. We are going to restart our knitting get-togethers online, but they're going to be free. And since we've been able to reopen our shop, we're able to offer that service to you again. So it's going to be free and open to everybody. And I will be doing it one afternoon a week, sometime between Wednesday and Friday. So my question for you is, if we do those online open stitches 2 to 3-ish, 2 to 4-ish, whatever makes sense, which day of the week, Wednesday through Friday, would you prefer to have that? So you guys chime in and let me know. And I'm going to wait for your comments to come through so I can take a look. The reason we're doing Wednesday through Friday is that, and I feel very grateful to be able to do this, but on Mondays and Tuesdays, I typically am working on, hey, Gay, good morning. I typically am working on at least one full day of that, typically working on dyeing. So dyeing yarn for Hand Dyed Diva. So, and the other day we are working on things for the shop, things for the yarn. So the Wednesday through Friday is when you have available to do the get-togethers, and I would love to, because I want to knit with you guys. I miss you a lot. And if I'm not running a show, I'll be able to actually knit with you. So I was a little ambitious this morning, thinking I could knit and do the show. But so that's it. So chime in. You can comment afterward. You can, if you have a preference, let me know. Oh, you're pretty open. Okay. I may end up just picking a day, and then we see who can join in. The way it will work, it will be on Zoom so that, we can all see each other. You will have to, you'll have to sign up. Oh, Mom, you found the patterns. Can you just type in the names of those patterns for me so I can share them? Any day works for you, Debbie. Okay, cool. The way it's going to work is you will still have to go to our website and sign up, but there won't be any cost to it. But you will have to sign up so that you can get the password, so that we don't get interrupted by some of the things that Zoom get-togethers have been interrupted by. I'll just let you look those up for yourself. I'm going to wait for 1 second, Mom. If you can type in the names of the patterns, and I will share them. Oh, you're open too, Gay. Good. I'm really looking forward to that, because I've missed the get-togethers. And I would like to, my plan is to start just on a very small basis teaching in July. That's the plan. I have several classes that I would like to teach. We have a really great super up close camera that we use. If you watched us on Vogue, this other camera that we have is great, and you can see every detail of what's going on. So, all right, I'm going to sign off. I will figure out the day that we do the open stitch, and I'm so grateful to hang out with you guys today. Thanks for hanging out with me. I miss you, Sarah. I miss co-hosting with you, and I will look forward to the show Easy Stop. What is that, Mom? My mom is going to share the patterns for this and the tank that she made. She made both of these. So I will put them in the show notes. There is a looping link. I think you're talk texting, Mom. Oh, don't worry about being late, Gay. It's okay. All right, you guys. So thank you. We are open today, 10 to 5. So pop in anytime. We aren't doing appointments because everybody's been great about keeping their distance and being considerate. So if you're in the area, pop in. If you're not in the area, you can shop online, and I definitely am happy to help you with selecting yarn and figuring out patterns. I love doing that. It's a happy space in my job. So that's it. Thank you for watching today, and I will look forward to seeing you guys next week. So take care and have a great week. Bye.